right now. Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's getting crazier by the minute. All right. Vladimir Putin, boot scooting, nuke shooting Putin is at it again. And it's incredible what he has to say about everything. It really, really is. I look at things and here, this is the Passover, okay? This is the Passover today and the next 7 days. And people are praying, and we're hearing from people, and I have right here, I have a 24 pages of prayer requests. Unbelievable, from folks who have sent in their Passover offerings and have the special prayer request. I've read about 3.5 pages of them on the air last video for you to pray about with me. But we're going to take over all of these will be taken to Israel, plus the ones that are coming in the mail. Some folks are sending their Passover offering along with their list or their prayer request. I'm going to take their cards, their letters, everything, all this, everybody's that's coming in. And listen, you have 7 days of the Passover. Send in your Passover offerings with your prayer requests during these 7 days. And get ready for God to deliver the 7 blessings of the Passover. We've talked about that. We'll talk about more about that as we go. But right now, let's get to Putin, because Vladimir Putin has spoke again. Russia warns the world it's on the brink of a direct military clash between nuclear powers. Russia warned today that the risk of a direct military clash between Russia and nuclear powers in the West is rising. Westerners, he said, quote, are dangerously balancing on the brink of a direct military clash between nuclear powers, which is fraught with catastrophic consequences. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in a video message to the participants of the Moscow Non-Proliferation Conference. The comments come after Russia reacted angrily to the United States House of Representatives because they passed a $61 billion foreign aid package to give to Kiev, Ukraine, this past weekend. House lawmakers approved the aid on Saturday, despite long-standing objections from hardline Republicans. The bill now passes to the Democratic majority in the Senate, which is expected to approve the legislation later this week before it's passed to the president, Joe Biden, and he said he will sign it into law. Now, the aid is a lifeline for Ukraine, they say, whose forces in the east of the country have had to ration their usage of their shells amid shortages of supplies. Russian forces have been making gains in Donbass region, and with Ukraine pleading for more air defense systems, artillery, and ammunition to turn the tide in the war. But Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky thanked the United States lawmakers, saying that the bill passed by the House will keep the war from expanding and save thousands and thousands of lives and help both of our nations, he said, to become stronger. He urged the Senate to pass the bill as quickly as possible. A Russian air attack took place, meanwhile, today on Ukraine's second biggest city, and that's Kharkiv, as they hit the TV broadcasting infrastructure, prompting disruptions with the signal. At the moment, there are interruptions in the digital TV signal, according to the governor. So European ministers today said that they were looking urgently at how to provide more air defense to Ukraine, but they stopped short of concrete pledges of the Patriot system that Kiev values the most. Meeting in Luxembourg, foreign and defense ministers from the European Union said that the U.S. House of Representatives vote to approve $60 billion worth of aid to Ukraine at the weekend should not lead to any complacency on their part. We can be joyous for a day, but we have to be prepared for the battle that's coming tomorrow, said the Lithuanian foreign minister. And Putin, who is threatening nuclear war with key nuclear powers. European has put everybody on edge as the thought of a World War III looms ever larger. Other European countries, including Greece, The Netherlands, Poland, Romania, Spain, and Sweden have the Patriot system, and so does Germany. And the question is, will any of them give some of that system to Ukraine? Well, let me just say, this is the article I'm reading, but I can tell you that the pressure right now building in the European Union area between the Russians and the EU and all the European Union nations, it's beyond just Ukraine now. Now, it isn't risen to the level of Iran-Israel. The Israeli war with Hamas has now spilled over into Iran, and as Israel's taking hits from the Houthi rebels in Yemen. The Hezbollah have fired on them out of southern Lebanon. The Syrians have fired on them. The Iranians have fired on them. And Hamas and Islamic Jihad has fired on them from Gaza. So they have been, and Turkey is itching to get in. Russia's itching to get in, but Russia is also caught in this, snared in this conflict that's been going on for years, really, since they made their way into Ukraine in 2014. For 10 years, they've been working on slowly suffocating and like a python choking out the Ukrainian government and taking Ukraine back from the Ukrainians. And then there's China staring at Taiwan ever so certainly. They've increased their military buildup closer and closer, building up their Navy, building up their Air Force, and in preparation to taking Taiwan. And then there's North Korea's Kim Jong-un, who just fired the largest nuclear missile, tested it over the weekend, and constantly talks about how he wants to take back South Korea, and if he has to, also fight with Japan. So the South Pacific is setting up for the third leg of this vortex of evil, as we're already seeing it growing in Europe and in the Middle East. We're living in the last days. Now, also, we're still waiting to find out if the red heifer will be sacrificed today on Passover. This is what the rabbis wanted to do, but